In just 2 more days, we're finally getting the gameplay reveal for Mortal Kombat 1, which is very exciting. Comment down below which characters you think are going to be shown in this gameplay reveal. Me personally, I have my fingers crossed for Reptile, because your boy's been leaked multiple times, he's gotta be in the gameplay trailer, right? Then again, if I'm being honest, it's way more likely that we see gameplay for the characters who were in the first trailer. So for example, Kitana, Liu Kang, Human Raiden, and especially Shang Tsung. The man's a pre-order bonus and was killing everybody in the debut trailer, so I would not be shocked if we get gameplay for Shang Tsung. But honestly, I think I'm the most excited for Human Raiden. Will he still have lightning powers, or instead will he be a martial arts master, the greatest in hand-to-hand combat to ever do it? If we're going off the trailer, then it seems likely he does still have the lightning powers, because for Pete's sake, there's a thunderstorm behind him. But alright, now it's time for the main topic of today's video. Since the gameplay reveal is coming in just 2 days, I want to break down every key detail in this trailer that I bet many of you did not notice. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. First up, I want to talk about the scene with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, because there is so much to dissect here. For starters, Scorpion is not dead. That's right, your boy's not even a specter anymore. And we know this because his eyes are no longer a milky white. And trust me, the developers wanted you to notice this. That's why they zoom in really close on Scorpion's eyes when he first shows up. And Scorpion not being undead raises so many questions. For starters, will he have the fire powers? Because keep in mind, the only reason Hanzo even has Hellfire is because he went to hell. I mean, it's in the name, makes sense. So since Scorpion is not dead in Mortal Kombat 1, he could just be a straightforward ninja. We're talking throwing stars, kunai, ninja swords, the works, and of course, the spear, otherwise known as the Scorpion. Yeah, for anyone not aware, Scorpion gets his name from the weapon he uses. That's why he's called Scorpion. The more you know, right? Leave a like down below for that fun fact. But what about Sub-Zero? Because that's the next biggest question. Is this Kuali Yang or is it Bi-Han? Because once again, Scorpion never died, which means Bi-Han likely never died either, at least not to Scorpion. Because for anyone not aware, the only reason the first Sub-Zero is killed is because Scorpion kills him, but only after he comes back as an undead specter. So once again, if Scorpion did not die, then it's very likely he never got revenge on Sub-Zero. Because there is no revenge. There's no beef so far in Mortal Kombat that we know of. So in the comment section, let me know which Sub-Zero is this. Is it Bi-Han, the very first Sub-Zero, or is it somehow still Kuali Yang, the second Sub-Zero who is playable in most of the games and the one who made peace with Scorpion? If you ask me, it could go either way, because in this trailer they showed the teacups. Sub-Zero walks right past them, and you might be wondering, what's the big deal, underdog? It's just some teacups. It's a much bigger deal than you think, because those teacups are an obvious reference to Mortal Kombat X, because in that game, Kuali Yang makes peace with Hanzo Hasashi. Mortal Kombat X is the game where Scorpion and Sub-Zero finally bury the hatchet, and they do this over a cup of tea. So yes, those teacups are very important, and I think there's a reason the developers put it right in our face in this trailer and have Sub-Zero walk past it. It's a very obvious clue that Scorpion and Sub-Zero are allies in this game, and it could also hint that Sub-Zero is Kuali Yang, because once again, he is the man who ended the feud between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Which leads me into the final detail of this scene that I know everybody is screaming at the monitor and praying that I notice. Sub-Zero and Scorpion have the same medallion on their uniform. And even though it's kind of tough to see Scorpion's, it's very clear that Sub-Zero is wearing the Lin Kuei logo, and since these two medals are the exact same size, it's very likely and heavily implied that Scorpion is wearing the Lin Kuei logo, which might sound crazy if you're a casual Mortal Kombat fan like I was until recently. But believe it or not, the Shirai Ryu was actually founded by a Lin Kuei member. His name was Takeda, which yes, should sound very familiar if you played the recent games. And this man Takeda split off from the Lin Kuei and made his own ninja faction, and he named it the Shirai Ryu, which means the Shirai Ryu is descended from the Lin Kuei. Despite them being bitter rivals, they're actually closely related to each other. And it's very likely in Mortal Kombat 1 that Liu Kang simply stopped this split from ever happening, which means Sub-Zero and Scorpion are now on the same team. Because once again, the split never happened. Takeda never left to Japan and formed the Shirai Ryu. Instead, the Lin Kuei stood united, and now Sub-Zero and Scorpion are on the same team, which is already cool and exciting. But to top it all off, if you look at the back of Scorpion's uniform, you see a very interesting symbol. And a big shout out to the Fourth Snake for pointing this out to me. His channel is amazing. I recommend everybody watch him and subscribe. The logo on Scorpion's back looks very similar to Liu Kang's double dragon fatality, which could imply that the Lin Kuei actually serve Liu Kang in some way or another. Maybe they're a sort of police force for Earthrealm. That would be really cool. Or maybe they're an assassin league for Liu Kang. It may sound out of character for Liu Kang to work with assassins, but hey, when you're defending Earthrealm, you gotta do what you gotta do. And Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 1 is all about peace, and believe it or not, the best way to ensure peace is to have some dangerous people do some secret stuff in the background that nobody else ever learns about. Sorry to drop that truth bomb on you, but that's how the real world actually works as well. But yeah, my point is, it seems very likely that Liu Kang is working with the Lin Kuei, and in fact they could directly serve him, at least if the symbol on Scorpion's back is anything to go by. Now, we don't see the back of Sub-Zero, but since they're both on the same team, it's very likely his uniform has the same symbol. But next up, let's talk villains. Who is the big bad of Mortal Kombat 1? A lot of people assume Shang Tsung, and rightfully so, because he's killing everybody in the trailer. The man is steamrolling everybody, the Earthrealm defenders looking like chumps. And he didn't stop there, the man straight up bodied Edenia too. Everybody just completely washed by Shang Tsung in this trailer. And that's why many fans rightfully assume that Shang Tsung is the big bad of Mortal Kombat 1. But here's the thing. He's a pre-order bonus. And typically in NetherRealm games, the pre-order bonus is not the main villain of the game, which honestly makes sense because you wouldn't expect people to pre-order just to play the main villain of the game. And that's why a lot of content creators on YouTube are assuming that the big bad hasn't actually been revealed yet. So let me know in the comments, who do you think is going to be the real main villain of Mortal Kombat 1? An obvious answer would be Shao Khan, because he's always the big bad, and let's be honest, he's the fan favorite boss as well. However, keep in mind this timeline was founded by Liu Kang. He's the man pulling the strings, he's the guy behind the curtain, and I seriously doubt that Liu Kang would allow Shao Kahn to do much of anything in his new timeline. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Liu Kang stopped Shao Kahn from poisoning the Dragon Emperor. That's right, I think it's very possible that your boy Onaga is still alive in this game, because keep in mind, his death is what starts all the craziness in the Mortal Kombat timeline. After Onaga died, that's when Shang Tsung went crazy and started invading other realms. He started with Edenia, which led to the death of Sindel and the corruption of Katana into an assassin. And then once that was done, Shao Kahn turned his sights to Earthrealm and tried to merge with them as well, and that's when the Mortal Kombat tournaments began. Or at least as far as the playable games go. So just for a moment, pretend you're Liu Kang. What's the best way to stop all of this from happening? What's the best way to ensure that Shao Kahn doesn't get started on any of this nonsense? Well, I think the answer is obvious. Stop him from poisoning the Dragon King in the first place. If you do that properly, then Edenia does not get invaded, which means that Earthrealm is also safe too by extension. However, I know what you're all saying, underdog, the Dragon King himself is way more dangerous than Shao Kahn. Yes, that could be the case, but keep in mind Onaga was only that powerful in deception because Shujinko was his errand boy. As long as you stop Shujinko from being tricked, Onaga does not become all powerful. And then on top of that, Onaga only started doing all the crazy stuff after being revived. So maybe, just maybe, if you stop him from being killed in the first place, he won't do anything crazy. He'll be content as the Emperor of Outworld and won't do anything crazy at all. Or at least that would be Liu Kang's line of thinking. Spare Onaga and maybe that will ensure peace with Earthrealm, especially if you can prove that Liu Kang is the one who saved Onaga in the first place. I think it's very possible that that's Liu Kang's line of thinking, but of course, things don't go as planned and somehow Onaga still becomes the evil big bad of Mortal Kombat 1. That's my personal opinion, money on the table, I'm gambling everything right now. I think Onaga has a very strong chance of being the big villain of Mortal Kombat 1, because in the previous game, Shang Tsung was already the big bad in Aftermath, and before that in the past game, Shao Kahn was the big bad, so it only makes sense to finally give Onaga his time to shine, and on top of all of that, he is a big fan favorite. Gamers have wanted Onaga to return for a very, very long time, so I think it's very possible that NetherRealm has finally reawakened the Dragon King. But one final time, everybody watching, please post your thoughts in the comments section down below. I read every single one of them. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. It really does help my channel out a ton. And finally, finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you don't miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.